Welcome back to Transport Fever 2. My name is Tobel. Last episode we did a bunch of work over with our fuel production, pretty much focused on getting the entire fuel line operational and connecting that over onto the main line. And now we are dealing with the situation where a lot of our cars are starting to need to get replaced. And I wonder if there is a way, I don't entirely know. I wanted to just experiment and look around to see if maybe there is a way to automatically replace certain vehicles, but I don't think that's the case. If we go to very bad, I mean, pretty much we could do it by route, right? So most of the food route here, I think this was one of the first things we did. So in theory, all of those vehicles would be ready to pretty much be buried and put away forever. Speaking of that food route, this poor food route has never done, where did I actually have said food route? You are over here, correct? Yes. So here's our food route. This poor thing has never really done it for us, right? It's really never been all that profitable. Let's take a look at our lines overall. What is making us the most money? We have our passenger line. The Flitwick-Bodmin line is making a ton of money. The aircraft passenger line between Bodmin and Ashby de la Zouch is making a surprising amount of money, actually. That is a lot. I did not expect the aircraft to be quite so lucrative. What's the worst offender right now? The fuel line, that's brand new, so that's understandable. Yeah, one of our food routes, though, is still super struggling. So how can we deal with this situation? We still have high demand in Cramlington for bread. The people are clamoring. They want more delicious French bread, and we must deliver unto them the bread. So this means that we're going to have to turn out more bread, and which means we are going to need to deliver more grain. So we're only using about half of the capacity of our bakery right now, our food processing plant. So the problem lies in the Berwick upon Tweed farm. So a very simple fix. I really should have taken a look at this earlier. Let's take a look at what vehicles we have that are newish. I think really it's going to come down to the Benz Tarpaulin truck. So let's go ahead and add 4 more vehicles, and we're going to throw this onto this line right here. This is the second grain line, and we'll see what happens. If this might improve everything. Our train itself, how many cars does this have available to it? It has a total of over 100, but what I want to do, how much money do we have? We have 28 million. Let's send the Nebuchadnezzar back to the depot. This time I'm going to watch and wait to make sure that I see the Nebuchadnezzar arrive in the depot. Let's also slow the time down a bit. Let's start to enjoy the 1930s as we go. And I also wanted to look into the usage of waterways in this episode. Maybe Bodmin over to Bolton, just kind of some experimentation. Shoot, maybe a route all the way down to Flitwick, as well as the routes that are kind of downriver towards the south. So we could experiment to see how lucrative those routes would be. You know, I haven't checked the workshop yet either. I'm kind of curious to see if we have a pretty heavy modding community right now. If anyone has already put out some good mods to use. As always, this community is really, really big on providing mods for Transport Fever 2, so I'm very, very eager to see what's going to come of it. All right, let me speed the game up just a bit to get the Nebuchadnezzar over to the depot. What I think I'm going to do is replace the engine and add a couple more cars. I want to do much like we're doing with the other cities. I want to be able to deliver more food that can be handled in one go, with the hope of it's going to take a little bit of time for the trucks to deliver that into Cramlington. I'd rather have food, hate to say it, I'd rather have food go to waste than be under providing a city, right? We want to make sure we're maxing out that demand as much as possible. So, Nebuchadnezzar, you have a brand new China Railways JF1 though. That's really not too bad. We could add a couple of more boxcars here. Did I have the wrong gondola? This is the gondola. Did I use the wrong boxcar? This is 12. This is 12. No, I didn't. Okay, this is the right boxcar. Sorry, I think I put the wrong gondola. I put a gondola instead of a boxcar. That's right. So this would put us about, I mean, here's the number we were looking for before, right? This is where we were at with the fuel. We're at 168 capacity, tons and tons of food in one run. The question would be, would we ever be able to support that much? It can produce 163 in a year. We could make that happen. I think it just would be, look how close this run is. I mean, getting there and back would probably happen before 1 year is up. A little bit torn. Do we want to upgrade the engine? You have the China Railways JF1, which was 1918 to 1968. So it's still a very fresh engine. But the power available with this Russian class FD, it's really hard to pass up. It's a little bit faster. It's obviously got a ton more power. So if we were to do this, it's going to cost 5 million, have a lot more power to it, and we'd be able to throw a ton of boxcars on top of everything else. Why don't we give this a shot? This is going to be 152. This is the full capacity of the station. This is the full length of the station, basically. We'll see how this does. What I'm going to adjust, though, is I want to say, let's wait for a full load. And we're going to see how much that affects Berwick-upon-Tweed's pickup. So we'll experiment with this a bit. I think I have to add the train back to the route. There we go. Move forward a bit, and then as soon as you come out, I will turn you in the right direction because you were going the wrong way. So much food can be delivered here in one go. It's such a long train, too. It's really kind of glorious, honestly. What I'm really looking forward to is someone who makes a mod that adds a bigger map to the game, even bigger than this. I love the huge maps in the modding community for Transport Fever 1. There's so much to do. You can set up like an entire network in the southern half of the map, and then, you know, realize you've never even looked in the northern areas whatsoever. All right, so we did add our new trucks over here. Let me fast forward a little bit. I don't know if our trucks have made it in or not. Are we having any traffic problems? I don't think we are. We have a really weird looking route because I was messing around with how traffic came in and out, but I think by and large it's relatively smooth. So that's not too bad. The trucks should have arrived by now. Oh yeah, we actually still have more trucks or more deliveries that could be made. So let's try this again. Let's add 3 more. They should have had enough time to kind of go back to this route, or reach the route and start taking food away. So we want to get this to 100%. We want to be able to deliver 400 units of food per year to the food processor. So it's going to be basically maxed out on production. And hopefully we could get production 179. In theory, 179 food has been made. That is true, you know, to keep in mind. I do have to remember that we are supplying Berwick-upon-Tweed as well. So that is something to keep in mind. We're trying to get, you know, give them as much food as they can take. So we'll let that go for a bit. Is there anything else that needs to be looked at? We have Flitwick and... I mean, both routes for Flitwick are doing really well. I would like to see if there's possibility of going Bishop Auckland over to Flitwick at some point. 268 in Bishop Auckland. And we looked at this interesting screen last time, this overlay about passenger traffic. So there is some demand here between the Flitwick and Bishop Auckland route. Now, whether or not that's supposed to be satisfied with truck or versus rail, I don't know. The problem is, as we add more vehicles to the game, we are going to start, you know, getting more and more problems with our both the station as people start to queue up, and also from the emissions. I mean, we are giving them a huge bonus, 70%, but each time we tip, you know, we kind of tip over, we are going to be causing a little bit of problem. Speaking of double checking our lines, how is our newer? Remember, we made some changes here to our tool route. Did we actually replace the train? We have a China Railways JF1 with a full load of tools. So we are getting 96 tools. Again, I think what I want to do is the same thing I mentioned previously. I want to overload, like basically deliver everything we could possibly fit in 1 year in one go. So I think I'm going to do the same thing that I did with food and with our fuel line. I want to do the same thing with tools. Deliver one giant load of tools and kind of complete their demand in 1 year. We're going to come back to the tool stuff in a minute. I want to take a look at the airlines. We did have a brand new plane available to us. At the end of last episode, we have this JU-52, I believe, which can be either passenger or cargo, which is actually kind of cool. And you can split it between cargo and passenger if you want as well. I do believe I'd like to, down the road, replace all of our planes with the bigger ones right now, but we do seem to have fixed the problem. Did that? Oh my gosh. The way this was looking, in the shadow was moving, I thought this was crashing. I'm like, can that even happen in this game? But we seem to have fixed the too much traffic here at Bodmin West International Airport. So that seems to be much improved. Let's take a look at the waterways. We talked about doing that. We've got Sheringham, Kershore, Bournemouth. Now, Bournemouth might be nice. Bournemouth to all the way up to Bodmin might be kind of exciting. So where could we set up here in Bodmin? I mean, right on the coast would be glorious, right? Let's take a look at what we've got. Passenger harbor. Okay, so how tight does it have to be? Oh, that's perfect. It's like it was made specifically for this. So we could put this harbor down on the edge of town, which would be just absolutely like wonderful. It's made for this harbor right here. We can do one little adjustment and I think everything is nice and even. 241,000, no problem there. And we could even fit a cargo harbor then, I'm assuming, right down here, kind of where the industrial area is. Maybe we could do machines down here. Maybe there's an easy machine route on this side of the world. Not really. Not what I'm seeing here. There is, this is where we've got steel and planks into machines. I haven't really looked for a machine route, so I'm sure there are some machine routes out there. Here's some logs to planks. Actually, right here, this is it. We've got logs to planks, which can be delivered into the machine factory. We've got coal, and we've got iron, which can be delivered to make steel, which then can be delivered to make machines as well, and the machines will go out to wherever they need to go. So this is probably going to be our main machine producer. That looks like it's all kind of together in one spot. There is, ooh, you know what? Maybe I spoke too soon. Here's another one. We've got iron, but we don't have much. No, we do. We have iron, and we have coal right here as well. So we have two spots on either side of the river that could be doing some machine work. Maybe I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Perhaps there are tons of steel options or machine options around us. A little bit for later on. We're going to focus on passengers right now. So Bodmin has our harbor down, our passenger harbor. Let's go hang out here in Bournemouth. It really bugs me that they have a house in front of this road. Hi, I'm from the local representative of the Darien Transportation. I'd like to buy your house in order to replace it with the road. Lovely. So there we go. I've trashed their house, and I will put down a passenger harbor where the kind of where the intersection is. Oh, it's so perfect. It's like it's made just for this. There we go. So another passenger harbor. Good stuff. All right. Simple passenger route. Let's throw down a couple of, like a bus stop right here. Where else do we want to do a bus stop? We're going to probably wind up doing, holy crap, we just got a ton of stuff. Douglas DC-3. The DC-3 is huge, right? That was one of the major transportation, at least the DC line. Maybe it's the DC-17 is what I'm thinking about. But yeah, this is too many, they all kind of went away. I think there was a train in there and maybe a boat too. I didn't quite see it. So where do we want to have our little taxi route in town? We could do, I mean, this is pretty much gathering all of the passengers right now, or all of the residential areas. We could do one over here by the industries, and maybe one right here. Very simple route, nothing too fancy. Go down, out, and maybe just catch up right here. So this is a very simple taxi route inside of town, and we're going to create a new line, and this is going to be, I guess, water? What are we going to call this? This is, yeah, let's just do water passenger, WP. And we'll do, is this Bournemouth? I think it's Bournemouth to Bodmin. B-O-R-B-O-D. Yeah, B-O-U, sorry. So, did I type that right? Not quite. B-O-U to B-O-D. That is our new water passenger route. Let's go ahead and add something to it since I just made it and I didn't quite add stations. So, from right here to right here, it does detect that the water is passable, so we don't have any problems with that. So, I'm really curious about what kind of demand we're going to have in here. I'm not going to set up a tram route right now. I want to go ahead and just throw down, let's just do a basic vehicle line, just basic taxis here. Nothing too fancy. We'll put down the road depot since this town does not have one. I'm really curious to see how this is going to work out. Is this the right one? This is the road depot. Okay. Alright, so one more route for the taxi. Sorry for the bit of a delay here. Just some simple housekeeping, basically. And I think I'm doing XX, and it's BOU tax alpha. And we'll throw down maybe for... How many do we actually... Well, the trams could carry a lot of people. The buses here, not so much. Oh, the Opel Blitz tank truck. I think that's one of the things we unlocked. Actually, all these. Opel Dump, Tank, and Tarpaulin. Oh, right as we bought a bunch of these Tarpaulins here, we just got one that almost can carry double. That's fine. We'll be upgrading those over time. Passenger-wise, not a lot of options. We still have the Fuso B46, and that's pretty much it. The Fuso B46. That's fine for now. It looks like a Ghostbuster car. So we'll throw one of those in there. Let's do 5. Just kidding, we'll do 6. 6 of you assigned to the taxi route. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our passenger water vehicle. See if it's a ferry, if it's a steamboat. I don't have any idea, to be honest. We talked about the Zurich, which has a capacity of 150. The Klondike is a paddle boat, which has a a capacity of 110, but I think we're going to go with the Zurich. 150 passengers, loading speed 50 times. A little bit faster loading. Top speed 32 kilometers per hour, so it is the faster of the passenger vehicles. So yeah, 1.7 million. Do we want to do 2 of these right off the bat? 150 people, but it's really, really slow. Let's do 1. We're going to do 1 to be smart and test it out. Of course, we are seeking names for our new fancy ships here. So let's unpause the game. Take a look at this glorious new behemoth. Oh, it's a beaut. So look at that, couple of chairs on the main deck. Just 1 staff member, just 1 guy, just 1 captain here, piloting the boat. At least it's got emergency lifeboat. It's got it going for it. Yeah, it looks very similar to a normal ferry. Oh God, it's fine. The boat has just been simply sheared in half. No big deal, right? So it looks like a something you'd find in any city, or maybe going to Vancouver Isle from Vancouver or something like that, and it can crash right through the bridge, no problem. Sounds good. One final thing I did forget. Guess what? We don't have any way for our lovely folks to get off here. So we already have a passenger route. What I might do is just do a simple route right here. Just between one existing, because people could switch off at just one of them. So we'll upgrade you to tram track tool. And probably, how does the line work? Like this, so it can make right-hand turns. That sounds good. Very basic stuff here. And I will make 1 more route. You to you. Nothing too fancy. People can just, if they're doing the internal taxi route, they can just jump off at West Street and then hitch the ride over to Richmond Road. Hopefully. That may or may not work out. I have no idea. We'll try it out. So this is going to be XX BOD Taxi Charlie, since there are now 3 taxi lines in the city. And wherever my tram depot is, if we have a route to it, we'll just add like 1. I don't know. Maybe 2. Less emissions here, I'm guessing? Yeah, so this is built in Japan. These are built in Moscow. Okay, so this one's a little bit smaller, but this actually might fit our needs a little bit. Let's do 2 to make sure that we have a pretty good, a pretty high... God, my map, I think it's going back again. Oh, stop running. To make sure that we have a pretty high supply and a pretty low frequency, we'll assign this to the taxi route with 2. Oh, missing electric tracks. Really? I think I did just change them to... Yeah. Yeah, I forgot to do that. All right, my bad. I shall electrify the demons. Electric. That's catenary. It's not catenary. What did I do here? Did I... Oh, I think I just forgot one little section of road. My bad. Okay. I think we're fine. Bobbin's starting to look pretty good now, too. All of these lovely skyscraper buildings. Is this where our capital is? Our headquarters? Did our headquarters shrink? Oh, I think it shrank because we lost some money. How sad is that? Okay, are we better now? Are you still complaining? Yeah, our headquarters did shrink. How sad. It's back to this. I assume because we spent a lot of money on loans. Let's go ahead and repay a lot of this. Get back down to 10 million and see what happens. Nothing. Headquarters 17. It's probably a lot of information that it's going into how it gets its company score. Profit last 12 months, -4 million. We're fine. We're fine. All right, so we're going to let this roll for a bit. As always, there is a bit of time involved with letting a new line kind of get started and kind of get balanced out. How's our Bobbin line doing? Any issues with the trains colliding or anything crazy? Not really. You look to be running pretty smooth. Our fuel line, how are you doing on fuel? You have all of... Oh, wow. You have your... I think this is the first full load for our fuel truck. Or, sorry, for our fuel train. We've been waiting here for quite some time. So, how much fuel can be produced, actually? We are producing 100, basically. We can produce up to 100 in a year. We still need to... we still need to put a lot more trucks on the Bolton East line. So I will do that right now. First ship arrived. Buy a ship and run a line. Nobody probably joining yet. Maybe like one person, one brave soul. But let's throw down a bunch more of these Opel Blitz tank trucks, which were used by Germany, I believe, as their primary fuel vehicle. And this is going to be our... I think I mislabeled my lines. I think I did. Yeah, in theory, this is actually the crude oil route. But that's fine. At least I can visually see what we're talking about. Okay, so we're going to drop off more crude. Yeah, because we're only transporting 36% of the possible 400, so we need to get this evened out over time. we need to address the problem with... How you doing on food, by the way? 145. Okay, you are waiting for quite a while. Waiting until full may or may not be... The problem with waiting until full is you're going to have infrequent deliveries. You're going to have a period where maybe 2 years pass before it gets delivered because it's been waiting for so long. So it's not the best thing to do. But right now, I just want to let it kind of roll in order to get a better balance and feel for how things are going. And Flitwick to Bodmin is still really, really high demand. That's great. I think one of the trains just left. That's why there's such little... Yeah, there we go. That's just so little people waiting. 59 out of 95. Not the best. That's okay. That's all right. For just a moment, let's go ahead and follow along with our train that's delivering all the fuel. I kind of want to see how much it's going to make at the end of the day. This thing is just booking it. It just now is getting to 80 kilometers per hour. Nice little pass on by. No issues there. I'm curious to see if we've got anything in the way. There is one train at the passenger station coming up, so let's see how this handles everything. I love that we're starting to get way more complex line. That's always really fun. That's one fun part of gameplay for me is when you start to get really complex lines and you're starting to do a lot of crossovers. Part of the reason I like the bigger maps because there's just so much going on at any given time. All right, how much money does 168 fuel net us? 5 million. Nice. What a great delivery. And then, boom, instantly filled, basically. We're probably going to have to up the amount of cars here doing the delivery. How many do we have on this route? We have 4 vehicles. Actually, it instantly popped to say that the station is overloaded. Oh, so we actually can't carry this much right now. So then what I'm going to do is extend. Holy crap, how much do we have to do this for? Good God. Is this still overloaded? Or is it just the visual symbol? Oh dear. Why don't they go on different... I guess different terminals can't support it then. Interesting. That is actually very, very interesting. What I'm probably going to do is have an entrance on this end, since they seem to be coming in to load up here. So let's keep configuring our... I don't know, maybe we'll have this as long as humanly possible. If that was 130, I think 160 would need to go all the way back as far as... Okay, so this is as far as we can go on this this massive truck station. So let's go ahead and say here is a one-way entrance. Actually, pretty good alignment there. Let's extend the road out. Pretty simple, nothing super fancy. And we'll connect in right here. So, if I look at the route... Okay, it did actually smartly change on its own. I think we're going to need more trucks. We're going to need a bigger boat. Let's go ahead and grab a couple more vehicles here. Where did I put the tram depot? I think I have the road depot all the way over here. Let's grab just a few more Opel trucks. We're going to go with 4. This might be overkill, but I really want this fuel to get delivered at least at some point in the immediate future. This is the Flitwick fuel delivery route. Okay, so 4 trucks going on that. What's going on over here? Oh, we just have normal stuff. So this is the passenger route, 38 out of 38. Is this getting more demand? Not really. 38 is actually kind of meeting all of the desires here. Big food run has just been delivered. Oh, that's right. So this is going to be the same problem. If we're delivering massive amounts of food in one go, all of our stations are going to have the same issue. Okay. That is good to know. So if we start extending this out, you're going to notice, oh dear, we're going to have a massive problem with storage. I guess we're going to max this out as far as it can go. And I will probably try to do something similar on this end. So in one end and out the other. I think there's perfectly a gap here. Oh, that bothers me that it's offline a little bit. It's okay, we're learning stuff. This is all part of learning a new game and kind of experimenting and seeing what works where. So if we do this and we go back to our route, this green one is which one? This is the food route, which is what we wanted. Okay, that's fine. So the food route will come in, load up on food, and immediately head out, which is fine. So that is going to take care of that. Hopefully we'll have enough space for it. And then I guess tools will have the same thing over here at Bodmin. Where did I put our truck line for Bodmin? Unfortunately, not as much room. Definitely not as much room at Bodmin, which means we're probably going to have to... Ooh. Could we... If we make this come connect to the station like this, and then we throw down a truck stop. Okay, good. The station will be within its catchment area. We're going to make this as big as possible right off the bat. And then I've got plenty of room to continue coming out. I'm going to go ahead and I will wait for this to get cleared out. Let me also grab a couple more trucks on this route. Nothing super fancy. I think we just need the Blitz dump trucks, or this is all cargo. So let's grab 4 of these for tools. This is the local tool delivery route. Sounds good. Okay, I'm glad we saw that, because that could have made a big issue down the road. How are we doing on the seaport? Nobody wants to ride the seaport. Fair enough. Did I actually assign trucks to the routes? I did. So our Ghostbuster vehicles are in fact going around and picking people up. Not too many though. Only 2 people want to use the ferry. That's okay. It's gonna take time to build up demand. Not a lot of people apparently like to cruise. No big deal. Maybe it's better for areas that are separated by large bodies of water. Maybe if, say, Torquay and Bournemouth did not have this bridge here, maybe they would appreciate using a ferry. So maybe long-distance ferry routes are not the best way to go. To be fair, I mean, it does kind of make sense, right? I don't know a lot of people that would rather take a ferry, I mean, it's kind of like a cruise at that point, right? If you're taking a ferry from Vancouver to San Francisco, I don't know what the relative distances are here, but that's what I would imagine. You're taking a ferry from one major city down, quite a ways. I think most people would rather take like a little local train more than anything. But again, experimentation is the spice of life. So we'll let this work its way out for a bit. Airport is still doing fine. I could add more. I mean, a lot of this is going to be, let's find a big city and add a line to it. And then, we keep having planes going all over the place. Too bad you can't expand the airport. I'm a little bummed about that. It would be nice if you were able to add a second runway, or really anything. Can we load more people here? This is the passenger terminal. Okay, so we can load more passengers here. At least that would be faster. So we could throw down this 2 million each, so I have to be a little bit careful how much we're spending. So that's faster loading and unloading, if nothing else. But in terms of, having more planes take off and land, we really just need to start using the bigger aircraft. So our fuel train is just getting back into its home here, and it's only got about 80 fuel right now ready to go, which means we still need to supply more of the oil well fuel. How are we doing on the kind of the traffic right? Oh, dang it. This is where our problem is going to be then. Is our truck stops aren't big enough. I mean, in reality, we just need to have more trucks pulling the crude from here to the delivery. This is fine. I just need to add more trucks all around. But I'm a little surprised that... I guess I'm a little surprised that the item won't transfer over to another terminal. But I guess if you've got a route only going to one terminal, it's going to be dedicated. It would make sense it's not going to overflow because nobody would know to come pick it up. So I suppose that's fair. Let's go ahead and add a bunch more vehicles onto our other lines too. So we're going to add 5 more to the crude route, which is actually the oil refinery. And then I kind of wonder, are we delivering anything on these at all? You're delivering refined oil here. So it is in fact... Okay, we are in fact delivering fuel. It is, this section of the delivery is still working. Remember, this line... At least I thought it was. Maybe it's changed. At one point, this was like dead center between 2 of them. And so I didn't think... weren't quite sure how that was going to work out. So I just added vehicles there. Let's go ahead and add a couple for the fuel line too, because this is going to, in theory, increase production across the board. All right. We'll come back to look at fuel in a minute. Let's look at food. Are we closer to... Yes, we are. We are closer to 100% of production here, finally. So, how many... Yeah, you've got pretty much a full load. Some trucks are going away empty. That's okay. Again, trying to aim for that 100% transport rate for both of our producers. And now, in theory, our Berwick-upon-Tweed should be using a lot more than that, right? 2 grain per 1 bread. So it should be producing... actually, this is right. It should be producing 200 on the nose, which it is. We're just not quite producing all of the, or delivering all the food that could go there. So we might need another route. This is a bit far for a vehicle, for a basic truck. I wonder if we should do a small little train route here. we could kind of tie into this line from a, what would you call this, a terminus route right here. Could be a little terminus station. Pick up the line, kind of ride it around the hill, and then veer off and drop right off at our food processor. That might give it more food. How long are you waiting? You're waiting for a really, really long time. And Cramlington's down to 33 food per year. So let's do that. Let's put down... We're going to keep trying to use as much... bring as much food in as we can. So there's one more food over there if we need to as well. So we are going to go into Terminus Station. Terminus Station mode, engage. We'll put you right here. I imagine a big part of our little experiment here with this game down the road is going to be cleaning up the mess of what we've done. And inevitably, when I learn that I've made a horrible mistake, it's probably going to be redesigning some things, making it more efficient. That's a big part of, I imagine, what you're doing in this game is trying to make it, make everything better, obviously, but trying to fix some of the issues that you might have encountered. Why don't we make our turn, our split, just before the intersection, so that way it doesn't interfere with our oil or our fuel run. So the fuel train can come in, and our other train will basically be turning around the corner. So there shouldn't be any confusion. There shouldn't be any issues there. So we'll spin around. We actually can just do straight across like this. Pretty simple stuff. And I think, do we need to do anything else here with trains? We already do have this route. So all we're going to do is wind up making this train station bigger. So let's go ahead and configure the train station. I think we can do this while there's a train on the track. We're just adding a neighboring train. Throw down our cargo platform on this side. Why are you complaining? We killed the train itself. We completely murderated the train. Why did it not like it? Does this become Terminal 1? All of a sudden, it really didn't like this. This is still fine. Are you just kind of stuck? Okay, I think you just corrected yourself. Huh. A horrible sound. Okay, there it goes. I think editing while you're in the station is probably not the best idea. Okay, so we will extend our train line off. Yes, road condition vehicles, terrible. I need to work on that. Probably I'll do that off camera. I did say I would, and I totally forgot. Let's be real. And this little stretch of track is just fine. So each train will have its own dedicated line in here. Let's go ahead and do a simple route between here and here. Rail cargo, this is Stamford, and it's going to be basically grains. I need to come up with a better system, I think. I'm not sure if I like that, the more I kind of look at it. And let's also throw down a train station. Sorry, not a train station. We can throw down either a new train on this side. Yeah, this should work fine. So this can carry, let's just do 100. Let's see if we can do 100 in 1 year and see what comes out of that. So one lovely, we want to do a JF Railways again. This is going to have to be the gondola. So we're at 96 capacity. So let's do like over that. So that's 72 meters long, 108 capacity. With the China Railways JF1, it would be mediocre speed. So I guess we will go ahead and use the Class FD. Much improving the power of everything. I guess we could also just try for a really big delivery. I guess it comes down to how big are these delivery areas. Like this wouldn't matter. This would be an instantaneous drop-off. So the length of the train and how many goods it's carrying would instantly be dropped off into the processing plant. I guess what I was trying to say is how many goods can you actually drop off when your station is X, Y, or Z long, right? That's really the big consideration. It's how long your truck stop is. So in this case, we're simply getting one super long vehicle with maybe all the goods on it at once. We'll give that a shot again. We'll try that out. I know I literally said I wanted to do 100, but since we can do it, let's do it. 192, that's 157 meters. The train station, I think, is 160 long. So we'll give it a shot. 17 million. Poof, down the drain, no problem. Hopefully that was the right thing to do. This is Stamford Grain. I think that's the new one. I don't think you're going to know how to get to your route. Let's take a look and see. You should. You should in theory. Here comes the grain. Front row. We do have a passing lane, so we should be able to get through here. Let's also adjust this line to say... Go ahead and pretty much wait for... I don't think you'll need to wait for a full load, but we can pretty much say... Wait for a full load, and we'll see how that affects things. So there's a passing lane. We shouldn't have too much issue here. Perfect timing. Lovely stuff. You are just beast mode, man. This train is just very, very quick, very powerful. All right, we're going to flip this around. And you should just kind of go into your terminus station, pick up your grain, deliver it. Thus, more bread shall be produced. Thus, more bread shall be waiting. Do we want to upgrade the Nebuchadnezzar? Did we talk about that too? Oh, we already did. Sorry, we already upgraded it to the Russian class FD. So it is also ready to rock. So, did this fix part of our issue with food? We dropped off like 100. I'll have to watch one of these trains get delivered, the ones that are carrying pretty much a full fuel load, to see if our storage is now big enough. How are you doing over here? You're taking off with your full load. Any issues at the truck stop? We are... Not really. You're at 77, so still a couple more trucks could go onto the oil well line. So let's do that right now. Wow, no one wants to go on this ferry route. Nobody's going on the ferry route whatsoever. I think what I'm going to do is adjust this to a much closer route, because this is not happening at all. Now, I kind of wonder, will the game complain it to me? It did. Town authorities complained about the following interrupted street connections. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to have to rebuild that. Now, I've learned my lesson. I definitely have learned my lesson, my friends. It's actually going to be small enough where... Or short enough that I can't put it... there we go. I was going to say can't put a vessel underneath it. Sorry about that. Okay, I learned my lesson. That was $300,000 slap on the wrist. So, what I was hoping to do is sever the road connection, thus creating more demand between Torquay and Bournemouth. But let's go ahead and put down a passenger harbor right on this side of town. I'm going to set up the taxi stuff off camera and get everything taken care of. Now, this is going to be a test to basically see, is this a better thing, a better vessel, or a better transport method to be used when cities are closer together rather than farther apart. Okay, so what I'm going to do is delete the old water passenger route. We're not getting any traffic on this whatsoever, so we're going to kill this route completely. Vehicles on the line. Yes, so I will need to grab our boot and reassign this to a different one. So we're going to say go on to the Torquay line instead, and then I will go back and delete, because it doesn't really matter, but we'll keep it off the list to keep it a little bit cleaner. So we'll see if this improves anything. I did set up a local taxi line for Torquay, and we'll see if maybe the folks at Bournemouth want to go visit Torquay instead of going all the way down here to Bodmin. Uh-oh. I don't think I quite have enough people or vehicles here for our taxi line. So let me go ahead and add a couple more going for the taxi. What do we have here? Are we on a tram line? No, this is just a basic vehicle route. I think so. Yeah, this is our basic vehicle. So let's add a bunch more passenger vehicles here. Again, the lower amount of people. Frequency is better. You want people not getting pissed off and leaving. In fact, they are getting pissed off and leaving. So we're losing possible traffic in our airport at Ashby de la Zouche. So I will try to make those folks a little happier with life. Meanwhile, let's watch one of our big deliveries. What's going where right now? We have tons of tools. 123 tools waiting to go. You just picked up 96. You know what? You need to go to the depot. We're going to flip you around. Can I go to the depot this way? What are you complaining about? Can you not find the depot? This combines into one. This combines through. We would have a collision on the line, I think, is what it's telling me. Waiting for a free path. Okay, yeah, so it's detecting that there is a train on the line. Let's set up a close-in signal. I normally don't like to do that, but no, there's no trains going between here and here. So we're going to allow this train to come up really close. Once somebody trips the signal, we'll be sending them through to go to the depot. So that should be taken care of. Oh, I know road conditions of vehicles are horrible. I will endeavor to improve this, I promise. How much fuel is waiting so far? 36, not a ton. We are starting to see some backups here at my crazy design. Oh, crap. I really need to come up with a better solution for this truck stop. This is just not really working the way I was hoping it would work out. I mean, bigger capacity vehicles would help, right? Removing all the older style. Where's the hold? The exit is a hold up. Let's let this run for a minute and see what happens with traffic. Look at them all snap over to the right side. Crazy drivers, I swear. It goes like completely sideways and then down. I mean, it's not... Maybe I just caught the worst of it. Maybe there's one little batch of traffic that's really bad. It does look like a very calm ballet, right? But I'm sure there's a better way to do this. I don't quite know it yet. So I will endeavor to see what the comments hold. Maybe one of you all has a wonderful idea. How is our grain delivery? We have both trains hanging out here. So now you are getting a ton. In theory, this would have been the first time you got a massive delivery of grain. Nebuchadnezzar is waiting on food. What are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? Oh, for goodness sake, I put the wrong hold. You haven't been doing anything, have you? He's been waiting here the entire time because I put them in an order that was a little bit not what we normally use. So, my fault there. Let's go check on the... There we go. There's our train coming into the station. We're going to upgrade you if we have enough money. I may need to... It's actually just about to pour in here. We'll fast forward a bit until I got about 18, maybe? Although, no, all we're doing is adding... We're changing the engine. We don't need to build a full new thing. So, let's add in the Russian-class FD. And we're going to throw down a ton more of these boxcars, which, again, we're transporting tools. So... We're going for the maximum length of the station, which is 152. That's 156 capacity. 8 million gone. Reassign you to the normal line, which is the tool delivery route. And you're going to be sitting here for a minute until that gets clear. So, can Bodman hold all of this cargo? The answer is no. So that's what we were adjusting over here. So let me pause the game real quick. We are going to delete this truck stop. Yeah, we know that it's all sorts of messed up. So let's go into our line manager. And which line is all crazy? Let's see. It should be with vehicles only. Here we go. So we're going to... Is it this one right? This is the Stanford... It should be Bodman Tools. Sorry, Bodman Tools. Where am I at? BOD tool route. Rail car. Where is? It's just like destroyed. Is it not able to... Here we go. I can do it through here. So manage the line. No longer at Highfield Road. Now you're going to... Truck stop over here. Bodman Sidings. Perfect. Cannot connect to all stations. Are we... Is this vehicle cargo, right? Oh, it's because it's trying to do Bodman Exchange. I deleted the wrong one. This is going to this route right here. There we go. Much better. So this is where your food is getting delivered. So what we're going to do is configure this to receive a lot more cargo. I don't know how much this can take. Like, when this is at the maximum length, what does this equal? That's going to be one of the big limiters, right? Because it's all about how much one section of your truck stop, your cargo pad, can hold. Because if we're dropping off more cargo that can be held, what happens? Does the cargo stay at the station until there's a free spot? Or will it just immediately get transferred? I'm not entirely sure. Let's also make sure we've got this assigned to the correct terminal. And it is. It is using the longer terminal. Because some of the terminals we don't have... You know, this other one, there's no reason to make this just as long. Okay. So that is taken care of. I will release the game. I think that's all we really had to do here. Just had to make it longer. Probably need to add a couple more trucks to it, though. How many trucks are going on this route? This is the BOD Tools route. We do have a few... Yeah, we have a lot of trucks here. BOD Tools. So this will be fine once it's up and running. So since we are trying to maximize the tools, what's going on with our factory? We are producing almost 261 per year, which is great. We think we had a delivery recently. We're only transporting 32% of our 400 logs. So that means we need to get more logs getting delivered here. So let's go back into our vehicle depot. Pick up a bunch more of the side. This is the dump truck. Hang on, what do we have to do now? Is the Opel Blitz the one we want? This is all cargo 12. It says all cargo, so I'm guessing it's going to be able to carry the logs as well. Let's go ahead and grab 6 of these, assign them to this log route. And that should help provide more logs to the fire. Once we get a good shipment going, and it's a regular shipment, we should be able to level this up to the final tier of tool production. Look at this crazy orgy of vehicles here. This is absolutely insane. It is a beautiful ballet of fuel and oil. We have a ton of crude that needs to be brought in. So crude needs to be refined, which means we need a couple more trucks. Are we at maximum? Almost. We're almost maximizing the output of our crude oil. So let's add, again, we're just kind of trying to find that nice equal balance. Let's grab 4 more trucks, throw this on this route right here, which is taking the crude to get refined. And we'll come back and revisit this. We have 144 fuel waiting, which is good. That might mean, yeah, actually by the time this gets back, this might mean it's an instantly turnaround full load. If this would be the balance, I would be so happy about that. How's our fuel situation? Did we actually deliver anything? By the way, I should see... Yeah, okay, we're fine here because both sides are actually really, really long. Fuel is going in Terminal 1, which really doesn't matter. So that's taken care of there. I think I've tried to work down any of our major issues. How much food are you carrying? 156 food. Let's see what happens when... Oh, yeah, we have a big food problem. All of our food is definitely not getting delivered. We have 44 food sitting in the station. So we need to get this taken care of sooner. How are we doing on demand or supply? Not too great. This is the road depot. Let's throw down a couple more trucks here. If the train's already on its way back with a full load of food, we are going to have... Now, this would be a good experiment. What happens when a train arrives with more food that can be placed inside the storage area? Or at least maybe this will help us figure out how much food or whatever good can be held in one pad, one long cargo pad here. So you're coming in with 156 food. All right, survey says we have 30 right now in the bank, 30 at our station, or truck stop rather. So this is going to net us 2.5 million delivery. And you fill up at about 185. Okay, good. So one station that's a default length of 160. If we're bringing that much of a good, we can drop it off into one maxed out truck stop, which is great. The thing is, before this gets back, we pretty much have to have this all cleared out. Although I'm sure by the time this train arrives, there's no way that there's enough food for this, for a full load. So what I'm going to do is configure the line again and just say take as much as you can whenever you get there. And we'll get a balance, and maybe I'll trim the amount of cars up. And we'll see what we wind up with when the train kind of stops, picks up whatever it can, and then heads back out. We'll see if we have a nice constant balance of food into the city or not. So what else are we going to start looking into here? We have, let's see, we haven't checked on our boat in a hot minute, wherever that boat might be. We do have some demand now between the different harbors. Actually, pretty healthy demand down here in Bournemouth. 49 people, not really maximizing the vessel yet, but it's good to see this much demand. So it is going to start being used. I don't know if we're covering the cost yet. Not even close. Not yet. More demand will get there soon. Any kind of transportation issues? No. Our taxi route looks like it's doing just fine. Down in Torquay, we're also doing pretty good. I've got a good taxi route and a good amount of demand building up. So again, brand new. This hasn't had a chance to build up too much demand just yet. Airport-wise, we're looking pretty good. I wouldn't mind changing a couple of planes over to the newer style. Let's go over to West Bodmin International Airport. Nobody wants to come here. Everyone wants to come to Bodmin. Not a lot of people want to leave, apparently. Healthy demand of folks over here at Bishop Auckland. I'm curious, if we add... Do we want to mess around? Ooh, this is going to be a sharp angle. How could we get... We could do a complex line where we kind of loop out and then loop back in. How can we get a train? 40, it had to crank on the brakes to make this turn. That's a pretty sharp little turn. Or alternatively, we try to meet it right before the bridge, which we can do. It does lose a lot of speed though. I don't really think there's that many other options. Can we actually merge across we could merge across the bridge, which, you know, seems terrifying. So if we wanted to have a route collision, what are we colliding with? Okay, so this is the smoothest we can just about make it. Like 100, yeah, 90 or so. So let me go back on a calmer speed here. So you could cross over again, much like we're doing in the other areas. We've got a three-way route. We would need a way for that train to kind of get on this line again. The question is there enough demand between Bishop Auckland and Flitwick to warrant a train? I don't think there is. Let's do a passenger route instead. I know I talked about it earlier, and it's going to kick up some of the emissions in Flitwick itself, but it could bring in a little bit more business. So we already have an internal taxi route here. So all we're going to have to do is say, I want to make a route. New line from here across the road, and we'll drop you off in the center. Hang on, where does this road come in? Comes across here and can get dropped off right in the center of town. Church Road. Sounds good. So this will be vehicle passenger line. This is between Bishop and Flitwick. Just like that. Nothing too complex, and we'll add... I think we're going to get some new vehicles here soon. I imagine we're due for some new road vehicles. So those could come in handy. Do I have a vehicle depot near here? I should have had something. There's a tram depot. I know you're here somewhere because I just bought a bunch of trucks. Is it all the way down here? This is the road depot. Let's build a road depot near here. Now, I wonder if my next playthrough that I do of this down the road, I think I'd like to do... Hopefully I would probably wait until there's a couple mods out for it. But I would love to do more mountainous terrain to really add to the challenge. That would be really fun with air quotes as always. But yeah, it would be really challenging. No other passenger vehicles, huh? We're stuck with this Fuso or the Gaggenau. Yeah, we're going to go with 10. I think this is going to be a pretty good route. So let's do 10 vehicles out of the gate. And passengers going from Flitwick to Bishop Auckland. There we go. That should satisfy that little bit of demand. Do we want to do anything else super exciting, like add another airport? Another direct connection. I think we're starting to get the right balance of planes for Flitwick. Sorry, for Bodmin West. Do we want to add an airport to Flitwick? That could be another option. Maybe that's going to be faster than the train. Maybe folks would prefer to take an aircraft into Flitwick as opposed to a train. Hey, you know what? More money for us, right? So let's think about throwing down... Did these roads get bigger? No, they did not. Not yet. So let's think about throwing down a airport just on the outskirts of town here. Is this a hill? A little bit of a hill. That shouldn't be a big deal. So, aircraft terminal. We will say 3 terminals, and I will not include a hangar, because we have plenty of... Actually, I don't know if it's that fickle, but it may not like the fact that you've got... It should work, right? Because if you have a hangar anywhere, the plane should be able to fly to wherever you need to go. I'm thinking about, buying a plane at Ashby de la Zouch, but there's no real line there yet with Ashby de la Zouch and the rest of this little area. I don't know. We'll experiment a bit. Where do we want to put this airport at? Flitwick keeps expanding. Let's do something like over here. And I will line it up so it might be somewhat smooth with the rest of the city. There we go. A little bit of elevation adjustments, but that's fine. So, there is our airport. Hope you guys don't mind having an airport right next to your house. Kind of curious if this immediately makes them pissed off or not. Nothing yet, but there will be very, very soon once traffic starts flowing. Drop down our road. Just a wee bit of a loop. Why is it not 90 degrees? I kind of wish it was. There it goes. I think it's the angle with which you kind of branch out at. There we go. 90 degrees, and we'll just kind of loop back in on itself. Alrighty. Let's throw down a simple bus stop. And we're going to do, again, very simple. We're kind of picking people up at the central location, which seems to be right here in Church Road. So, really quick line. We're going to do XX, Flitwick, Taxi, Bravo. And then another line between this new airport. And we'll do Bodmin. Just because Bodmin does not have enough traffic coming in and out of it, right? So aircraft, passenger, Bodmin, and Flitwick. I hope this doesn't really mess with our rail line. I wonder if this would pull demand away from that. Let's go ahead and go to... Who has a hangar? I think up here in Bishop Auckland, do we have a hangar? We do. So can I buy some planes here? Let's see, the DC-10. DC-3 can hold 10 people. The Junkers can hold 10 as well. So, I mean, does it really matter? Speed? The Douglas DC-3 is definitely faster. Okay. Sounds good. Lifespan of only 9 years. Revolutionized air travel in the 1930s and 40s. Well, it's going to revolutionize us as well. Let's grab 6 of them for a cool 10 million. Assign them to... it doesn't like this, but can I do... Bomb and Flitwick? Okay, it is smart enough to just take off and go where it needs to go. Okay, sounds good. We'll wait for a while to see how well this line does. But otherwise, I think this might be a kind of was a checkup episode. Sorry that I'm bouncing around so much, but we wanted to see how our lines are doing, try to identify some problem areas. We experimented a little bit with our waterways, which does seem to be working out, at least on the Bournemouth side. A lot of people want to go visit Torquay, apparently. Did it just pick up a lot of people? 36 people. Not too bad. Almost breaking even. A couple more trips like this, and our lovely ferry here will be making a good amount of money. So next episode, if we've got the money, which we should be making enough money to do this, I would like to talk about setting up our machine line to see if we can start delivering machines to our different cities here. How are we doing on tools, by the way? Let's pause real quick. You have 127 tools. Awesome. Not quite full, but that's still really, really good. So tools are getting delivered. How many tools are we giving them in a year? Oh, we're almost meeting their demand. That's great. That's a ton of tools. That's what I was hoping for. Do we have any kind of issues? We are 150%. We're not quite delivering all the wood we could. All the wood we could. They still have a little bit of room in their production for more log. So we can do that. They're pretty much almost maxed out. We have to ship more items to the city within a year. I think that's what it's complaining about. So maybe we might want to split this route up into 2 separate trains. Much like we have 2 trains delivering logs here. What I think shipment means is it's all about that 1 year. Can I say, close this, click on the tools factory again, click a question mark. There we go. Shipment indicates how many units per year are shipped to other industries or towns. So yeah, it's like we're not shipping the full quantity in 1 year, which, you know, does make sense. We can only ship a certain amount over to the city. We'll let this even out a little bit more. There's still room to grow. I think I need to adjust my lines and kind of replace some vehicles. I'm going to try to do that off camera. Adjust the lines, replace old vehicles with new ones, replace the smaller capacity vehicles with new vehicles, and see where we stand. So thanks so much for joining me for this episode of Transport Fever 2, my friends. I'll see you next time. Take care.